The weekend that blew up my marriage. I'm Gregory Carter, 41, husband for 14 years, father of 2 girls, and, until a Friday morning in April, the kind of guy who still believed a nice house and matching his/her mugs meant you were doing marriage right. That morning, my wife, Melissa, hummed while packing a girl's trip bag. Not the Target undies, the silk set. The smirk, too. The one people wear when they know a secret you don't. Spa, wine tastings, Claudia's B&B, she said, sliding her Louis Vuitton into the trunk. Pack light, I joked, unless the spa grades the lingerie. She kissed me goodbye like she was signing a receipt. I told myself I was being paranoid and went to work. By lunch, I was in urgent care, doubled over with a burning pain that made the fluorescent lights strobe. Tests, waiting. A doctor with the tone of someone who's delivered this sentence too many times. Mr. Carter, you have gonorrhea. I laughed out of reflex, then didn't. I'd been with one person in my entire adult life. The doctor kept talking. Antibiotics, partner notification, additional testing. But all I heard was the truth my brain refused to say out loud. If I didn't cheat, Melissa did. I left with a prescription and a hole where my marriage used to be. The first people I told. I drove to my parents' house. The same colonial where I learned to ride a bike and where my father, a church deacon, can smell trouble from 3 counties away. Mom put coffee on because in our family, you don't discuss catastrophe without caffeine. Melissa's cheating, I said, and told them about the diagnosis. Dad paced. Mom cried angry tears. Within 10 minutes, Dad had our church's family law bulldog, Judith Parker, on the phone. 3 p.m. today, he said, handing me the address. We'll protect you and the girls. On the way home, I decided to stop being the last adult to know what was happening in his own house. Melissa kept our finances. In the filing cabinet, I found the reason she'd insisted we file taxes separately. Her returns looked like a treasure map. Consulting income I'd never heard of. Business trips, I didn't remember. And then a hidden bank account. $743,192.47 under a P.O. box I'd never seen. That was not mad money. That was exit money. My phone buzzed. Having so much fun with the girls. Pajama party tonight. Kiss emoji. I photographed everything. Lawyer up Judith's office looked like justice cost by the hour. I dumped the AA folder on her desk, the STD, the secret account, the fake girls trip. This isn't only adultery, she said, pen flying. It's financial fraud. Proof of the affair gives us leverage. Proof of hidden assets wins the settlement. Then I remembered a thing I'd set up months earlier when Melissa lost her phone. Find my device. The little blue dot didn't point to a spa. It pointed to a rental cabin by a lake, 2 hours north, registered to Ethan Reynolds, husband of Claudia, Melissa's lifelong best friend. Judith speed-dialed a PI. Double rate. Tonight. Photos, video, plates. Are you ready to know? She asked. No, I said, but I need to. Telling the kids, I picked up our daughters, Sophie, 15, and Rachel, 13, from a sleepover, and took them to Applebee's because public places make big conversations harder to explode. Grandma wants you a few days, I started. Sophie stared. Is Mom cheating? I blinked. She and Rachel laid out the observations I had missed. Secretive phone calls, new clothes, extra work dinners, the way Mom's eyes had left the house months before her body did. Whatever happens, I said, holding both their hands, none of this is your fault. They nodded like kids do when they're older than their years. Evidence arrives. At 8:47 the next morning, Judith called. We found everything. Bring someone. Dad came with me. Judith slid photos across the desk. Melissa on a cabin deck in a silk robe, Ethan behind her, nuzzling her neck. Then the kiss, intimate, practiced. The timestamp? The exact minute she texted me about a pajama party. Judith hit play on audio. My wife's voice light and giddy. Poor Greg. He'll never figure it out. You're everything he isn't. Spontaneous, dangerous. They joked about Claudia being boring. They toasted to how easy I was to fool. Receipts matched to Melissa's secret account paid for cabins, dinners, jewelry I'd never seen. The PI caught Ethan's car in my driveway, 3 weekday afternoons. How long? I asked. Financials say at least 18 months, Judith said. Ready to file? Yesterday. Karma wears scrubs. I set the kitchen table with divorce papers and a neat stack of photos, rehearsing the speech you give the yay person who detonated your life. At 11:23 a.m., the hospital called. Melissa had been admitted with severe pelvic pain. She asked for me. In the ER, Dr. Patel explained, clinically, pelvic inflammatory disease from an untreated STI. Aggressive antibiotics. Possible long-term fertility issues. We should both test for everything, including HIV. When he left, Melissa tried to speak. I showed her the cabin photos. Her face drained. I mentioned the secret account. Her hand shook. A process server stepped in, handed her an envelope, and left. You've been served, she sobbed. We can fix this. Counseling. No, I said. You brought him into our house. You stole from our marriage. You gambled with my health. The girls go to my parents. Claudia is on her way. The heart monitor beeped faster. I walked out. 4 months of paperwork divorce. With evidence moves fast. Judge Williams was all business. I got primary custody. The hidden account went into the marital pot. Half of it went straight into college funds for Sophie and Rachel. Melissa's real estate referrals evaporated the second the church moms learned. She wasn't safe around husbands. Ethan lost his house, custody, and most of his paycheck to alimony. Their great love? It survived 6 weeks in the daylight. Aftermath and a second chance. The house felt bigger, without secrets. Sunday dinners returned. The girls laughed again. Work became just work. Then I met Laura Bennett, widowed mom from our church who remembered to bring lasagna when your life explodes. Dinners became talks. Talks became coffee. Coffee became cautious dates. Cautious dates became hope. A year after the divorce, I proposed on her back porch. Our 4 kids screamed like we'd just told them school was canceled forever. Melissa came to Sophie's graduation looking 10 years older. Sophie hugged her politely, kindness with boundaries, and came back to a table full of people who had chosen her over their pride. I used to think a happy life was a perfect photo. Now I know it's a series of honest ones, sometimes messy, always real. Melissa chose secrets. I chose truth. The girls chose laughter. And somehow, out of the wreckage, we built something better. Some endings really are beginnings in disguise.